You know, it's almost like your birthday with a package from China, so let's go. Itself comes with more than 100 built-in games, but already can see from the picture that we're going to get not the typical naughty games that we have seen before with different arcade models. But I must say that there is an option to add new games that I've been messing around with. But I am very excited to show you this here on the channel and just do this unboxing together with you, because I'm always excited to see what are we going to get, especially these mini ones that you can collect and play on. But it has been a very long time that I even review one of those things, simply because they didn't release a lot of new mini arcade machines. I think the jungle was quite big enough and they didn't want to make new ones, but this new tabletop edition, or they called it a laptop arcade player, I find it still a very strange name. I find the model very intriguing, and that's the reason I just needed to pick it up. Not only for the collection, getting these things out of the box is like a freaking nightmare, and plastic fantastic. But the first impression is that they are giving us, let's say, a full plastic fantastic 7-inch awesome piece of a mini arcade. It's still going to get ourselves the analog joystick, like the wiggle stick. I'm not a big fan of those things, but okay, that is something we just need to live with. Inside we're going to get the toilet paper manual like always, because yeah, look at this. That's not really something like a user manual. Like, what do you need to do with that? It comes with the cable for charging it. But also later on, we're going to do and see, let's just look up what we can do when it comes to emulation, and can we play some naughty games on it. I have been waiting to make this video for a very long time, and the main reason is I just wanted to be messing around with it a lot. But where the previous models were, let's say, especially focused on emulation, this system comes with their own unique games, including some shmups, but also some beat 'em ups. Games like Steam Gear or Fury Fight are one of those games that we'll be including in this cabinet. But let's boot it up and let's see what we're going to get. But let's take a close look at the front panel. So we're going to just getting the old school membrane buttons, there's nothing really arcade about it. The same goes for the analog stick. It's like an analog stick. It's great on a controller, but for an arcade stick like this, I'm not the biggest fan. The volume control, we're going to get these cheap clickies buttons. Here we're going to get select, start, and the back button. At the back we're going to get ourselves the on and off switch, the micro USB 5V in. There is no charger, so you need to get yourself one of those separately. And we're going to get here the headphone jack out, and we're going to get an TF slot because it is possible to add games. Like the box already mentioned, it's a 7-inch TFT panel. This is not an IPS. In other words, the viewing angle is not great. So the system itself is running on a kind of a weird Android edition, but let's take a close look at that. So the loading times are quite long, as you can see over here. I booted up, started making this part of the video, but the loading time takes quite long. Okay, so at the front we're going to get more like this bezel. I personally really like it, but it's kind of glossy. And yeah, in combination with the viewing angle here, you can see I need to put the camera in the perfect position, otherwise we're going to get not a very good result when it comes to recording. There is no touchscreen, so you're going to need to use this freaking joystick. You can see the volume control seems to be working just fine. It goes basically with step by step. When you're pressing it once, or you can hold the freaking button. Okay, so I adjusted the camera simply because we're going to get a better result with recording. So here we're going to get the main menu. It's kind of a weird looking Android. I think they're using Android, a very old one, but they're just basically getting an interface. Here we're going to get Fury Fight, Rapture Void, Fighting Masters, Steam Gear, and we're having all kinds of weird games. So here we're going to get the more games and the arcade emulator. So like I say, the more games, it's more games like the weird 16-bit-ish flash game stuff. So if this thing comes with 100 games, it's kind of weird because I don't see them. Let's take a close look at the arcade emulator. Here you can see we're going to get the option to add a TF card. So there is no TF card inside. I did messing around with it, but it's something we're going to dedicate a different video on, simply because it's going to be a lot of mumbo jumbo getting this thing to work. And the question remains, what can we play then? Okay, so let's take a close look at the settings. We can open it up. Here we can change some things like language, the screen brightness. This thing goes super bright. So let's put it on the brightest, simply because it's better for recording. We're having here the sleep mode. You can put it in a couple of minutes, stuff like that. Here you can see a couple of seconds. If you don't want to use it, I put it on never. And then we're going to get the theme. I'm going to use the black theme because I think it's better for your eyes. So this is what we're going to get with the main menu. There's nothing much to see, so let's try some games and let's see how good or how bad these things are. Starting with Fighting Fury or Fury Fighting. Yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna be honest, I don't know if you can download this from the Play Store or the Apple Store. So the music itself sounds kind of cool. And the internal speaker that is on the bottom goes quite loud. But don't crank it all the way up to 100% because you're going to get like this cracking noise. There's quite a lot of bass in it. Alright, new game. Let's put them easy mode. It even has like a save function. Yep, start new game. You can choose between 3 different characters. I must say that I really love how this looks, how it sounds. So that's pretty cool. The loading times are quite fast. But what I like about this cabinet in general is like it comes with something unique. Or it comes not like with your typical emulation stuff that you have seen before. Okay, so let's take a close look at this all. Going to get an introduction of the game itself and everything that's going on in it. Okay, so let's take a close look at the first game. And this absolutely looks like a Flash game. So the analog stick does have a minor, let's say, dead zone, but it is quite responsive. But I've been playing this game for some time and I must say that it's quite a lot of fun to play. It's like a basic beat 'em up game. Nothing really fancy. Does get some special moves like this. I love the screaming sound. Whoa, whoa. Such a weird thing. When we're looking at this, it's a quite interesting game to play and I think it's a lot of fun. So far I know it's only 1 player. And because you have no idea like if you can attach any extra controllers, that would be cool. There's also no TV out, so this thing will dedicate like a mini arcade itself. Okay, so next up, let's try Rapture Void. It's a fighting game. I must say I like how everything looks. Well, let's take a close look at the gameplay. So the learning times are quite long, I think, for this type of game systems. Some game will have like a couple of seconds, but some will have like a very long time. It would be cool to have some Mugen on this thing. But yeah, then we're still having an issue with the wiggle stick. Loading times, we're back in the freaking 90s. Loading times, it's freaking awful, all this thing. Loading times are a pain in the ass. Oh, there it is.
Round 1.
Ready, fight!
Okay, so when playing this game, it's like actually like playing a game with 30 FPS or something like that. I don't know if this game is actually kind of good because this is like... And having a wiggle stick doesn't help the fact that we cannot do any moves or barely any moves. It's by the way the first time I ever played it, but... So the animation itself are quite funny, to be honest, but if this is actually a good fighting game, I think not. Okay, so the next game I wanted to try out is the Steam Gear. And like when I'm looking at Steam Gear, the first thing that comes in mind is freaking Metal Slug. Okay, so they didn't rip off the music or something like that. But let's see if it's actually like a good game. So we're having a story, tutorial, stuff like that. But there's absolutely nothing to do with Metal Slug. This is just a shooter. Okay. The only thing I can do is use my grappling hook and shoot. But the shooting is just a freaking nightmare if you think about it. Like, you move and you give the direction to your gun at one joystick. So that makes this game, in my opinion, quite difficult to play. But Fighting Master Ultimate. So we can just choose fight or... Oh, I need to press start. But this game looks pretty damn good. Let's choose the rip-off Ken or Ryu. Okay, so that fight was absolutely ripped from Street Fighter. Whoa, this is not a Street Fighter clone. I'm now playing again. Yep, I'm playing against a rip-off Sagat and a rip-off Ryu. Okay, so the first thing I'm noticing is like I did have the option to do some moves. So the analog stick mini arcade is not super bad. Let me guess. So I was having this move. Let's see if we can do another one. Yep, absolutely. They ripped off Street Fighter in every single way. Well, in combination with the analog stick again, it doesn't play that bad. They did configure every button like it should be, in my opinion. Here are the buttons for the punching, and they put it like low, medium, high. Don't know if I can basically like configure anything. Like push inputs. No, I don't think you can do basically like it shows like what you can do. We're going to get in a list. That's pretty damn cool. Okay, so next up I just wanted to highlight, let's say, the most important games. And this is one of them. Like, this is quite interesting. This is a racing game. Looks kind of funny. Loading times of some of the games are faster than the other one. That is something I've noticed. Let's see how the racing game actually works. It's a three-dimensional racing game. So it's pretty damn awesome. It comes also with some challenges, and if you want to play them and upgrade your car and stuff like that, it's all possible. Just your typical racing game, nothing really fancy. You can see like we're having the upgrades where you can shoot it at your opponents. The controls are kind of weird of the game, but they play actually good with the analog stick. Let's see if I can find the freaking button. Oh, you just basically tap the acceleration button to activate your power up. Yeah, that's kind of weird configuration of buttons, but okay. Who do you want to market this for? When you're looking at the different models in the past, think about Pow Kitty or another brand. They clearly wanted to like build themselves like this emulation box inside an arcade machine. But with this, they don't market it like this. It's just, let's say, it comes with 100 games that, in my opinion, kind of a lie, because I couldn't like really find one of them. The games that were on it are okay, like not the best games that I've ever seen before. The build quality is pretty damn nice. It's fully made out of plastic. The only downside I find with the speakers, if you're going to put it like this, it basically dampens the speaker a little bit. So you can put it on very high volume. You can see feel some vibration, but you know, in the end, like it's a little bit of a bad placement. They would like consider putting the speaker here at the back to give him better audio quality, or make something that you're having like at the front. So basically the audio itself is towards you and you have like a better quality audio experience. But let me know in the comments, what do you think of this mini arcade machine? Is it something you're worth thinking of picking up just for fun, for the novelty, for playing these weird Android games? Yeah, thanks for watching. Consider subscribing, hit that little bell, become one of the Wicked family. And again, let me know in the comments, what do you think of this?